See, notice an important part of breathing. When we say somebody is into disease, what mainly doctors are not able to follow is, which yoga people will say, there is a prevention of disease is possible by yoga. It might be because of the intricate activities of increasing the possible lung capacity by the regular practice of pranayama. It is very much possible. So there are different volumes of practice terminologies in the lung space. We call it as tidal volume, dead space, vital capacity, inspiratory capacity, inspiratory volume, expiratory volume, and all those, which we'll study in the, is mainly we study in the second level of practice, not in the beginning. So just as a general yoga practitioner, you know that when you are using pranayama, especially Nadi Shodhana pranayama, Bhastrika and Kapalabhati, you are actually forcing your breathing system to get exercise in a way to increase its lung volume. So that's all about breathing techniques will increase your lung volume. When there is a more oxygen available for your body, it will be used for the defense. So the disease causation can be one kind of causation can be told as there is a less oxygen capacity of your lungs and there is a more cells to give the food in terms of oxygen and glucose. If my fat cells are too many and my lung volume is less, so there is somewhere it will create an imbalance of oxygen supply in different cells. So that can cause, in certain areas it can cause a disease. So less oxygen supply might be, or less blood supply might be at the level of stomach, can cause gastritis. So change in the blood supply at the level of your muscles can cause muscle spasms or pains and aches, something like that. So there is a correlation that lung volume increases by regular practice of yoga, you will be more healthy. So read about those tidal volumes, vital capacity of the lung, dead space and all those. And you also notice that when you are doing prana ayama, regulation, so respiratory system is regulated by center which is there in the brain stem. We call it as a medulla oblongata. It's a brain stem. So there it lies a respiratory center, cardiac center, temperature center, and hunger, satiety center, and other centers, vital centers of the body. So this area is what which controls based on the sensing or chemoreceptors. There are chemical sensing receptors in the body which will send a signal to the brain stem medulla oblongata about oxygenation or carbon dioxide. If there is a more oxygen, it will send signal to the brain. If there is a less oxygen or more carbon dioxide, it will send signal to the brain. And accordingly, we breathe in a particular way. If I am in a space where there is a high altitude, my breathing capacity increases because the demand for oxygen will be more and the atmospheric oxygen is little lesser when we go to the heights. That's why it will send signal, the body system will send signal to the brain saying that I need more oxygenation. So you pant for breath, so you increase the breath. Similarly, when you are doing Kapalabhati and other things, you are exhaling more carbon dioxide out and passively inhaling the oxygen. So this also can stimulate the respiratory center in the medulla oblongata, and there is a very beautiful aspect of my explanation in this is acid-base balance of the body, which senses the chemical composition, acidic chemical composition of the body and basic chemical composition of the body inside the blood in terms of the chemical, which is mixture of oxygen, carbon dioxide and water, H2O. So there are various chemicals are created in the body which are at the balance. We call it as acid-base balance. So all these breathing techniques will challenge this acid-base balance and stimulate the respiratory center in such a way that it will get adapted to it. So it's a very brilliant idea to exercise the acid-base balance by the breathing. So how you exercise your muscles by asanas or isometric asanas, isotonic asanas, whatever forms of asanas you do, how you exercise your muscles, that same way you are exercising your breathing system, and through using the breath you are exercising the inner chemicals of your acid base of your blood. So this is very fascinating part of yoga which made my mind get attracted to this particular deeper aspect of yoga. You might have heard of breathing technique, do this breathing technique, it will be useful for you. Do this breathing technique, it will be useful for you. But if you understand how beautifully, if you are able to understand the acid-base balance and how it gives a center signal to the brain and then the body responds positively, so it will make you more productive in terms of the knowledge and you can convert that knowledge into wisdom. where make the people increase their lung volume, and by that they can fight it out with any disease whatsoever, let it be body, mind, spirit, any disease at any level, you can fight it out by increasing the lung volume. So I hope you read more about the respiratory system and details. Any questions you have regarding any of the systems what we studied, you can comment below or ask questions in the description board.